good morning, and I just woke up and I decided to show you my life today. So right now it's 5:40 p.m. So I have work at 6 p.m. and I'm gonna show you later on how does the work at home setup be like. But right now let's get up and do this. Let's go. So yo, what's up guys? I'm here. I'm back. So what I'm gonna do right now is I will fix the bed. So if you can see, it's really messy right now. So I'll go ahead and do it first before I set up my PC. So I'll go ahead and do this.
A few inches later.
Okay, so I'm done with the bed. I will go ahead. So I think I still have 20 more minutes to set up. So I'll show you how I set up my PC. I'm gonna show it to you. I have here the computer. So actually, this is an apartment. So I have here, I was planning to take a bath. So this is an apartment of a working student. So right now, I have here my sister with me. She's on the kitchen, but I'm not gonna show you guys my sister. Okay, let's just do this. So let me just set up my PC so with that I can show you my work at home setup. Okay.
A few moments later.
Okay guys, so it's now loading. So I was able to set it up now. So actually the setting up will take almost 30 minutes. The reason why it took 30 minutes for the setup because you need to pull up your tools, you need to pull up all the things that you need to do like the for example so aside from the tools that we need to use for our job is we also need to set up our PC. There are a lot of things that we really need to set up with. And maybe I'll try to explain it to you later more detailed once I started working. But right now, I'll go ahead and fix myself. So I'm gonna show you later myself and a new outfit because I think I will be needing to set up, of course. Even though I'm working from home, I should be presentable, right? So it doesn't mean that you work at home and you should just be wearing something, though it's okay as long as you're comfortable with it. But the problem is, of course, your supervisor are expecting you to comply with the company policy, wherein you can wear proper outfits and such and those. So I'll go ahead and do it right now. So I'm gonna show it to you later, my finished product for myself. Hey guys, I'm Avail now and I'm all set for work. I'll start working na and you can watch me while I'm working, okay? So, hey guys, what I'm doing right now, as you can see, I'm doing emails. So, way back before in the office, actually, we are taking phone calls. So, since we are work at home right now, they decided that we should take the email part. So, instead of taking phone calls, what we do is hold on, let me just answer this query. Okay, so what we do is we are answering the queries of our customers through email. So, for example, instead of calling us because of the long queue right now because of the pandemic, of course, everyone is affected, especially all of our clients is in the US. So, everyone was calling, and of course here in the Philippines we also have a problem deploying all the employees, so they will not be able to really accommodate all the phone calls. So instead what we do is we are the one who answer their queries that they are sending through email. So I'll try to explain more about it and how does it really work later. Okay. So hi guys, I just took my lunch and I have here my sister, Asherin, and she also works at the BPO industry. So what are we gonna talk about BPO industry? Because maybe I can share to them how the application process goes. So first of all, I would like to tell you that I'm a working student. So when I applied for in this industry, they were like really No, don't tell them that you are a working student and you wanted to continue your studies. That is one of the tip that they gave me when I applied in the BPO industry. But since here, say, um, actually, she's already graduate. So she can talk more about some experience for a graduate aspiring applicants in a BPO industry.
Okay, so actually, the reason why people chooses to work in a BPO industry is because first thing and foremost is the salary. They really promote competitive salary.
Mhm.
So like for instance,
I'm not gonna drop my salary though.
Anyway,
Okay,
so,
so we're not gonna drop our salaries.
it's something
but
private.
yes, and it's actually part of the contract wherein we are not allowed to provide our monthly income, or it might be our annual income, or no matter how much is the offer, we are really not allowed to talk about it. So we can give you some ranges maybe, because whenever you scroll in the social media, you might be able to stumble on one of the advertisement of a BPO industry or BPO company, and they say it should be 20,000 or 35,000 college graduate, or sometimes they also accept a high school graduate and maybe undergraduate, right?
Yeah, they do accept a high
Mhm.
school graduate as long as you are an experienced BPO tenured agents.
Or not really experienced, but sometimes they even accept high school graduate as
Yes.
long as you can speak English fluently. Not really fluently, okay? As long as you can speak, communicate English, that will be good. Because of course, in the BPO industry, one of the clients is actually coming from the other country. So the country is more on US. That's where my work is based. So right now, I mentioned a while ago, I just took my lunch. The reason why, because even though it's already 11 p.m., 11 p.m. here in Manila is equivalent to 11 a.m. in the US. That's why in the BPO industry, we call our lunch as lunch. And then we have other breaks and such. Okay? Anyways.
Okay, so let's start with how people would apply in BPO industry. So what are the processes?
Of course, there are interviews in the processes. So, like I mentioned a while ago, I go through a different interviews, and one of the tips that was provided to me is never ever declare or mention that you wanted to continue your studies, because that might be one of the reason that they will decline your application.
Yes.
The reason why, because they are actually looking for a long term applicants or employees.
Who can do full time.
Yes.
And they are hesitant to hire those working students because they think that this student cannot be able to work
Handle-
fully,
handle
like
the
8
pressure
hours
as well.
a day, five days a week, or as actually in the BPO industry they require OTs.
Yes, they do.
See, so if the
Like
usual,
one of the question in the interview is, are you willing to go to work Sunday? No, it's weekends, holidays.
Let's
What's
make it
the
short.
term? Yeah.
Are you amenable to work shifting schedules?
Yes.
Are you amenable to render OTs? Something like that. So, and the answer to all that question is no other than but yes.
You should always answer
Yes.
yes, even if
Even if
inside your heart
you
you
don't
wanna.
want to
No.
render OT, you can say no because the employer will not hire you. That's the thing about BPO. They require OTs. And if you're a really workaholic person, so go ahead, come to BPO because it's OT.
Okay, so OT gives more salary to you.
Yes.
It gives more income to you, but of course there are taxes if ever that your salary is beyond the what do you call this one? The tax something.
I'm not sure what's the term on
Anyway,
that, but
so
anyways.
if your salary is beyond or it's kind of high, so sometimes you will be needing to pay some taxes, and of course, OT means taxes. Okay?
Yes.
And
And allowances, of course.
Of course. And aside from that as well is the incentive.
Well, anyway, let's go back to what are
Yeah.
the processes on the applications?
Okay, so like I mentioned, I already mentioned the interview. So sometimes you need to go through a different interviews. There's a initial interview, final interview, and the account interview. And aside from that, you need to also pass the online process, wherein you need to type blah blah blah. And
There are
there's
typing skills. And
yes,
what about Versant and SVAR?
yeah, of course, that's one of the requirements of the other BPO company, but it will depend on the account that you're going to work with.
Yes, and it depends on the company as well. And can you tell us more about Versant?
Oh my gosh, girl! Versant, okay. So she's giving me a pressure. I invited her actually to join in my vlog, but she's like, oh,
I was like, it seems like I'm the interviewer here.
yeah, she was like, I'm gonna go ahead and interview you, girl, and then you give me the answer to all of my queries. Oh my gosh, girl.
All right, so we're gonna walk you through to the application process in the BPO industry. So we'll start with as mentioned before, there are series of interviews that we'll be going through. So there are initial and final interviews, and the online assessment, which includes Versant, SVAR, or
And some
typing
critical
skills.
thinking.
Yes. Mm-mm.
Yeah, there's actually a situation wherein it's online test, wherein there's a critical situation, then you need to do a critical thinking and how are you going to resolve this matter and such and such. So let's not just talk about the application. It seems like we're talking about the application for so long now.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead to the actual job in the BPO. So actually, there are a lot of departments in the BPO, and when you say BPO, it's not actually you applied for this company, but you will work directly on that company.
Yes. Actually, let us give you something. Let us give you something. An idea about BPO. BPO is a business process outsourcing. Wherein, the companies here in Philippines, we actually have a contract with other companies, big companies on the different countries like US. That's actually the reason why we have
Yeah.
our shifting schedule. But anyways, that's the thing. We don't do the company's business. We do the client's business.
Which we called accounts.
Just like PhilHealth. Just like PhilHealth. I'll give you an example of BPO industry, BPO company like Accenture, one of the top BPO industry here in the Philippines. So
Is that where you're working?
yes, it's one of the top
Okay,
BPO
so
here
she
in the
mentioned where
Philippines.
she works now. I'm not
Okay.
gonna mention you guys where I do where I work.
So okay, anyway, so I've been with Accenture for almost like 3 years. So Accenture is a BPO industry. Let's take for instance that Accenture is doing the business for PhilHealth. PhilHealth here in the Philippines, which is a medical insurance
Mhm.
here in the Philippines. So we don't do the business for Accenture. We do the business for PhilHealth.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yes, and aside from that, not only insurance itself. So there are lots of
There are
different what you call this, like accounts in the BPO industry.
Financial account. Mhm.
One in the one company they handle different accounts. So it might be a financial account, insurance account, and the other is
Healthcare account maybe.
yeah.
There's a lot of accounts here, and please don't limit your thinking that BPO industry is some sort of call center. It's just not that.
Okay,
Okay.
so there are a lot of
Yes.
things that you need to do in a BPO. It's not just that you're gonna talk to the customer and blah blah blah. You answer the call. Yes, you do answer the call. Sometimes some is working through email like what I'm working right now. But there are different things that we do. We don't just answer phone calls. We
Yes.
study the account itself, and we of course should be knowledgeable enough to what is the concern of the customer. We should be able to answer all of those queries.
Yeah, so technically it's not just about doing calls. Answering phone
Because
calls and
that is one of
inquiries
the
or
most
not. Yes.
stereotype in a BPO company, right?
Yes, they actually think that, oh, BPO, are you working at BPO? So
Call
technically you're a call
center.
center.
Yeah, of course,
It's
it's a call
just not
center.
It's not just being a call center in a BPO industry. There are data analysts, report analysts, and so on. There's so
Chat
much
support and
Yes.
tech support and such. And actually, if you're gonna be in the field of tech support, that will be really oh my gosh. I'll just gonna tell you that the stress level is really high when it comes to tech support, because they were like, so some of the customers are like, hey, my Wi-Fi is not working.
Yes.
I was like, have you tried to turn on the Wi-Fi? No, I didn't. It's like, So sometimes you really need to have a patience. That's one of the requirements or the characteristics that you must possess. You need to have a patience, like a very long patience. You should never argue with a customer.
Yes.
And remember, most
That's
of
a golden rule.
yeah, that's one of the golden rule. And like I mentioned a while ago, do not ever leave your PC open. So that's one of the rule in the BPO industry. Once you get in, even though you're just a trainee, you are being required, or your trainer will keep on reminding you that, hey, your PC is open. Sometimes there's actually a lot of consequences in doing that, because that is the private information of the customer that they trusted in us.
Let's simplify things. Just like you are using your phone. You're chatting with someone, with your boyfriend or with your ex. See? So, you're about to do something. So, you left your phone on the table, keeping it open. See, so anyone can actually navigate your phone and navigate your personal information. That's the reason why we keep our computer locked, because we don't want any information to be
To
discussed
leak.
with anyone else.
Yeah, we wanted
Privacy.
to all be confidential, okay?
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about the advantages. Why people actually really like BPO aside from the
Of course,
salary.
income. And
from the
aside from
salary.
the income, actually, when I was interviewed, I said I want to enhance my communication skill.
Yes, that's the thing. Actually, if you wanted
Mhm.
to enhance your communication skill, oh my God, BPO industry is the best training
Yeah,
ground ever.
It will really help you a lot. Like,
Yes.
we both is not really like this before. We were like, when we speak,
Yes.
like our English before is really so if it's really bad.
It's not it's not really good. It's not it's
Hold on,
more
I'll just
like
go ahead and check
you're
my the time,
having
okay? You stay there.
senses. And anyways, aside from the communication skills that you wanted to enhance, and aside from the salary, actually the BPO industry tolerates adversity. They just not tolerate, they embraces adversity. They promote those differences of the people. So LGBTQ are welcome to apply here. You won't be going to be discriminated. That's the thing in the BPO industry. And one more.
Hold on. Maybe let's discuss about the stereotyping when they say BPO company, that the industry or the what do you call this one, that people are doing something bad in the BPO
Yes.
industry.
They
No.
think that I'm going to say having a mistress, having a third party, because they think that okay, if you work in the BPO industry, you will be given an opportunity to cheat on your partner, something like that.
Yeah, that's one actually of the
Yes.
most common stereotype in the BPO industry, aside from being just a call center.
Yes.
So we just want to
Clarify
clarify this,
Mhm.
that if ever there's a sleeping quarter in a BPO company, that is really strict, that it should be girls and girls, and then
Only.
this is the male blah blah.
So if you're a woman, technically you are not allowed to go to the men's sleeping quarter.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So if I just want to clarify as well that it's not just the BPO industry who are having cheating sense.
No, this,
You know?
this issue, of course.
Yes. It's not just BPO. There's a lot. Please do not
Okay,
limit
so
your
no matter where you go, this is because this is a very wide topic, or this is a
Yes,
very sensitive topic, that wherever you go and everywhere you go, even though what type of company you work with, there will always be this kind of issue.
Yes.
Okay, so it's
It's
just that in a BPO company, it was stereotyped that if a BPO company, that will be like that. And
Maybe
like that
because
and
we
such.
work at night.
Yeah, because
Yes.
the night shift. Maybe you think that in night shift what we do is we just play around with our colleagues. No, we don't. Actually, we only have a very seldom time, a few minutes, that we can talk to with our
Yes.
colleagues,
Because we're too busy doing our job.
and we don't have time to talk to them.
We don't have time to chit-chat our
Our
workmates and so on.
seatmates and
Yes.
such, because we are all handling our different customers accounts, and we really need to focus on it, because if we're not gonna focus on it, how are we gonna handle the problem fast.
And
We have the turnaround time, so
yes.
that's actually one of the reasons why we really need to cope up with doing things. And I need
And
to
you're actually
be
doing the
fast.
call. How can you speak with anyone else while you're having a call, right?
You can
So you-
just place the mute button, and I'll place the
Yes.
mute button
And
here.
one more thing. Well, anyway, let's stop the topic there. So let's go to why there's a lot of people who don't want to work in a BPO industry, or what are the discrimination that we usually get when you work at a BPO industry. I'll give you first. They actually think that BPO industry does not require professionalism, which means if you regardless of what course you have been through during your college days, it doesn't require. Yeah, honestly, the BPO industry does not require you to finish your college or your area of expertise. It's not required anyway. So they also think that anyone can actually work there, which is totally true, because we can work, even a seller can work there, even a high school graduate can work there. But they think that BPO industry does not have manners at all.
No, that's wrong. So
Actually, yes, there's a lot. I'll give you I'm not gonna give you, but there's a lot. If you can just saw it on if you can just gonna scroll down to your social media, there's a lot of discrimination through BPO industry. And
But-
don't think that the job is easy. It's not easy, I'll tell you. People think that, okay, you're just doing the call, you're just talking to someone. How can that be so stressful? Guys, please don't judge, because you don't know what kind of stress we have to go through in the BPO
it
industry.
sounds like you had a lot of stress going to the BPO
Yes,
company. Why is
because
that?
I read a lot of negative comments, negative opinions regarding BPO industry. That's why I just want to clarify things like that. And what more? Hey, yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe let's just focus more on how really I just wanna do this. Anyways, maybe in the BPO industry, what we really can say to you guys is, first of all, you need to have a communication skill if you wanna go in a BPO or you wanna
You
apply
have
in
to
a
practice
BPO.
your English.
Yeah, you should really not really that it should be a right grammar and such. It's not really.
As long as you're being understood, that's okay.
Yeah, because
And you can
Americans are
speak,
not
of
really like
course.
that, so they really don't care about your grammar as long as they can understand you and your English is clear. That will be okay, and as long as you have the enthusiasm to be trained,
You have the willingness.
yeah, the willingness rather. So aside from that, what
And
is it?
you should be physically, emotionally, and mentally prepared.
Okay, yes, that is correct. Because first of all, you're a night shifter. Most of the
Yes.
BPO industry is night shift. So night shift means
You will be working at night and you will
Yeah.
be sleeping during the day.
because
So,
always remember there's a 12-hour time difference in US and the Philippines. So for example here in the Philippines today it's May 17th, is it?
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, let's check the
Yeah, I guess
the
so.
date.
That's
Yeah, it's May 17th and the time is 11:56 a.m. in the US. But
yes,
here
but here in the Philippines,
in the Philippines, it's 11:56 p.m., which means 4 minutes later, we're gonna change the dates. We're gonna.
yes. And this time, people are supposed to sleep here in the Philippines.
Yeah, but.
But we need to work, because we work in the BPO industry, which is located for our client is located in the US. That's
mine
the
as
thing.
well.
So, one more thing, the reason why people wanted to work in a BPO industry because of the insurance as well, health insurance.
Oh yeah, that's one
Yes,
of the reason
that's
why.
the reason why
Because
people want.
some BPO industry really covers not just you as the employee, but they also cover your family.
Yes.
And that's
And-
actually one of the biggest incentive that you can get in a
Yes,
company,
yes.
right?
Actually, some of the BPO industry offers
Okay, I'll just go there. I'll just check my.
450,000 per illness. So just like for example, you have your headache. So the insurance company or the health insurance company really allocated 450,000 just for your headache, just for you. But what about your dependents? Of course, they are covered. I think some of the BPO covered two or one dependents to two. I'm not so sure. But if you wanted to exceed on that, you wanted to cover your son, your daughter, and your family, the whole family, you have to pay for it. Which might cost at least 2,000 a month.
Later, well, because I will be working now. So I just took my lunch to explain the stuff here. So right now, what we're going to do is I'll just work. Take from that, I'll be back later, guys, and I'll try to explain to you how does a working student be like this time. Because right now we tackled about the BPO industry, but how about being a working student in a BPO industry? So let's go ahead and learn it later. We're just gonna bid some goodbye here, but we will be back later.
Bye.
Bye!